episode of Flight of the Griffin. Episode 4, Border Dispute. We find the crew of the USS Griffin mere days after their mock encounter with the Watanabe.
So-called because we mocked them mercilessly when we beat them.
Yes, you, for lack of a better word, you embarrassed them. Facing off against a ship that should have wiped the floor with you. But with the help of some very quick thinking, some hacking, and a couple well-placed shots, you were able to disable a much more formidable foe. And the scuttlebutt around the ship is such that everybody's kind of riding that post-battle high. Even though there were no stakes, nobody's life was at risk or anything. Everybody's feeling pretty good. Confidence is at an all-time high. And there's the sense that you really still have not yet seen how deep into the tank this ship can go. But that was days ago. And you've been spending a lot of time, or the majority of your time since that, cruising through space along the border or along the Federation border. Now, is there anything anybody wants to take care of before we get into the game? Like anything that they want to do, have a scene, that sort of thing.
I think I'm good.
I think the chief and I need to continue working on this. What's the word I'm looking for? Speakeasy
project.
Yeah.
Speakeasy holodeck we're putting together.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
here's the question: is Gary Mitchell invited in these planning briefs?
You mean Billy Mitchell?
Billy Mitchell, yeah.
Yeah.
That's as long as he's not a narc.
I don't think Billy Mitchell would narc unless he himself was in trouble and could use ratting on you to get out of trouble.
Ooh. That's a good way to get vented into space.
It really is. So I think let's set this up because this is probably going to be an extended task to make this happen.
Those are my favorite.
Yeah, true. I forgot you're built for those.
Yes, I am.
So yeah, I have a feeling that we're not going to get through the whole thing today, nor do I think we should spend all this time being like this is probably like one of the last stops before that task is complete. So let's set this up. To reiterate, you're trying to use an unused room in the Griffin on one of the lower decks to hotwire in a holodeck.
When you say it like that, you make it sound almost criminal. But the answer is yes. Yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to do.
Got it. Okay.
I also like that you are not consulting the computer specialist on this.
You know what? We don't want to bother you with the work. We just want you to come and finally enjoy the finished product when it's done.
That's great.
So
I'm not complaining. I don't get in trouble this way.
You're right. It's true. It's on me.
I think
the chief's just gonna go. I was following orders. She's the one with the pips, and I'm gonna be like, he's not wrong.
Cool. Actually, I want to ask: does this secret project have a code name?
I will give that privilege of naming it to the chief.
I did like the name of the Speakeasy.
The Speakeasy?
The Speakeasy, okay.
Cool.
I mean, I do kind of like that because you have to have a password in order to get into it.
True.
It's like, how come the turbo won't go to deck 3A anymore? Don't worry about that.
And it's like Speakeasy, but it's written in Leet speak.
Yeah.
Cool. So for the construction of the speakeasy, this is going to be a reason engineering task, which is one of your better checks.
Mhm.
We'll say this is going to be high magnitude, so I'm going to put the magnitude at 4. The difficulty at 3. We'll say the resistance. I'll put the resistance also at 3 because you're trying to do that surreptitiously. And the work track, say the work track's 12.
Okay.
Thanks for posting those.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna have to roll effects for that to happen.
Mhm.
Great. And whenever you score 1. Okay, so whenever you roll effects, you're going to score 1. You're going to score 1 additional work, and you're going to ignore up to 2 resistance for every effect.
Right.
So if you roll 2 effects, you're going to ignore 4 resistance, or up to 4.
Right. So I'm going to do the roll. Unfortunately, we don't have any momentum, so I can't do anything with that. And I'm not gonna take threat just to
Aw. Come on, start the game off right.
Red alert, we have 49 threat. Wait, what? Where did all that come from? So just started.
I was telling Brian the game that I just played in last night, we started the game with 40.
Whoa.
We were getting and we deserved it. We were getting pounded.
Would I
Every
be able to
holiday.
assist with, say, I want to cheese it a little bit. Would I be able to assist with security and, say, presence in trying to sort of route people away from this section of the ship? Sort
Oh,
of
like
as a-
privacy level
I'm
marking.
yeah, like sort of let her have time to do what she needs to get done by saying, all right, hey, duty roster is this. Hey, you're relieved of command, or right, you're relieved of duty. Like, I'll take this watch, type of thing.
I'm intrigued. I'll let it happen.
Sure.
Oh,
it's about
no.
right.
Don't you dare buy that off. Don't you dare buy that off. Well, we can't. We don't have momentum, so.
So yeah, I'm gonna bank that.
That's fair.
So the first so you're not gonna get anything done on the work track, and luckily all it costs you is time.
Right.
So there's not really much of a downside to this. However, that complication, I think it's a security-based complication.
Hmm.
So I'm just going to put the complication as loose lips.
Okay.
And I'm going to bank that and spring that in whenever I feel like it.
Okay.
Now, if you want to make another roll, I will allow you to make another roll. I will say that Jensar, you're going to have to come up with something else because your security is not helping.
Apparently not working today.
Just do reason and engineering, same that
Yeah,
I'm doing.
that's that point. Yeah, it's just all right. I guess I'll build things by reason engineering. Boop.
So
Still a fail though.
we currently have no momentum, right?
Currently, no.
Okay. Yeah, baby.
You have one now. Great. So, give me your roll for the work track, which I think is discipline +2 or +3. I can never remember this.
So, like, if my engineering's 5, you're saying it's 7?
I think that's correct. Let me just do a quick double check. Termination, blah, 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 blah. Wait a minute.
I'm sure that when I'm
Here
trying to
we
save
go.
us all from a warp core breach, I'll roll like shit on engineering. But for this speakeasy holodeck, I'm doing great.
Oh yeah. Okay, so the character rolls two dice plus their good discipline. So yeah, you'll be rolling 7 dice.
So 7 challenge dice.
Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 2 effect.
Right.
So you're gonna do 7. You're gonna do 7 for the work track, and you're gonna get 1 breakthrough because you did at least 5.
Okay.
Neat. So yeah, there's only 5 work left on the work track. The magnitude is down to 3. The difficulty is down to 2.
Wait till I buy my next talent and take Miracle Worker. Oh, you got a breakthrough? Hey, take an extra free breakthrough for your breakthrough.
Wow.
That's really good. Wow.
Yeah, you can only buy it with engineering 5. That's the prereq. They make it really hard to get it.
Mental note: don't do so many extended tasks later on. Scientific method, man. Go
All
for
right,
it.
we're going to do an extended task. All right, complex negotiations.
No.
Do these guys?
So did you ignore the resistance of 3?
Yes. Yeah, because of the 2 effects.
Ah, cool.
Yeah. With Lieutenant Shee taking point on this, resistance is basically futile. Yeah. Somebody had to, Kasan, and I'm glad that both of us did. Okay. I will permit you 1 more roll to see how much more work you can get done on this and sort of set you up for the future if you so choose.
All right, I'll be spending that 1 momentum so I
Buy
can
an extra
leverage
die.
my cautious engineering,
Gotcha.
and I will
I will-
re-roll the 0.
Okay.
And
4
I will pick
successes.
things up and put them down.
Okay, so everybody's doing great on this one. Okay, so you're gonna get 3 extra momentum on that. Not a bad way to start the game off.
Yeah.
Okay. So 7 dice.
Yo.
Wow, that's about as good as almost as good as it could possibly be. So 4, double that makes 8. Ignore all of the resistance. So the work track is now at 0. Magnitude is going to drop down to 1, and the difficulty is going to drop down to 0.
Okay.
Because you hit 2 breakthroughs on that. See, I'm getting the hang of this. This ain't bad. So here's how this looks. You spend a good part of your off-duty time working on this side project. Is it just you, Lieutenant Shee, or do you have extra people from engineering helping you out with this, or is it just you and Master Chief Jensar?
It's just me and the chief.
So okay, because the more people you add on to this, the more likelihood
Loose
that's going
lips
to
sink
leak out.
ships, baby.
Exactly. So you two have found there's somebody's quarters, a larger set of quarters, and you spend the first day or two just sort of clearing everything out and trying to bring it into the room where the replicator is going to recycle it. So you're just like whistling as you're hauling out tables and shit. It's like, okay, what is this? The biography of Captain James Tiberius, whatever. So you spend a day clearing it out, and then you spend another day attempting to jury rig a holodeck into this. Now, you get the majority of the work done. Everything is installed. Now it's just the programming, which, as we know with holodecks, is the hardest part.
Mm-hmm.
And you two are probably having this conversation of like, what's the first program you are going to run with it? Who's going to be the guinea pig to test it out? All conversations that you are having, and as you are preparing for the third day to replicate yourself a bottle of a synthanol champagne to christen this thing, the senior staff is called into a meeting by Commander Tapalu.
Okay.
So we open with everyone in the conference room. Zoom in on that a bit. Oh, come on. There we go. Great. So all of you enter into the conference room, and Commander Tapalu is waiting there, ramrod stiff as she usually is. And she says, "Take a seat, everyone." The captain sends his apologies for not being present at this meeting, but he has passed along a communique that he has received from, from Starbase 23. An hour or so ago, Starfleet received a distress communication from a science vessel called the USS Nightingale. She taps a few buttons and whoop, the image of a Nova class starship comes up onto the overlay. The Nightingale appeared to be under attack after having apparently accidentally drifted into the Romulan neutral zone.
Oof.
They were set upon by a Romulan warship that decloaked and fired upon them. And this is the message that we received. And a video comes up of a bridge in distress. There is a darker-skinned human female, face full in the frame. There's a cut over her left eye with blood dripping into it. And you can see that the bridge is effed up. And the energy is palpable. You can feel the terror that these people are going through. And she says, "This is Commander Allison Lewis of the Federation Starship Nightingale. We've experienced a navigational error that caused us to drift into the neutral zone, and we've exchanged fire with a Romulan warbird. Captain Blake was killed in the attack, and we've lost main power. Warp drive is offline, and the ship systems are down, but life support is good and holding. Repairs are underway, but we've lost most of our engineering crew. And the Romulans are claiming that we're now prisoners of war, and they insist that they will take us to Romulus for a trial once their ship is repaired. We don't want to give in to demands, but we don't want to start another war. Starfleet, please advise." Pew! Starfleet has given us orders to set a course for the edge of the neutral zone to assess the situation and provide aid wherever we can.
That
No,
doesn't seem right. I'm not a xeno or an anthropologist, but usually the Romulans wouldn't fire on a science vessel, would they? That, especially one that just drifted into the neutral zone, they'd certainly do something about it, use it as a political bargaining tool, but opening fire doesn't seem very Romulan to me.
It gives them a
Well,
pretext.
it is a political bargaining tool now.
Right.
Indeed,
It
Commander.
gives them a pretense to capture the ship and strip it for all of its all of its technology, especially its sensor tech as a science ship, which is going to be very valuable to Romulans who rely on cloaking devices for the ships in their navy.
Possibly, but Romulans aren't. Romulans could have gotten that tech anytime during the Dominion War. They were our allies. They could have taken any number of opportunities to get that technology from us 6 months ago.
It is
So what did change in the last 6 months? What do you think?
Not much in sensor technology, at least not from what I know.
also the political situation is odd post Dominion War.
Yeah, we were allies. I know the Romulans have a different way of conceptualizing that, but we worked well together for those 6 months, a year or so.
Do you know of any kind of political change on the Romulan side? Maybe they have a new, well, leadership which sees things differently.
It is possible. We do not know what the praetorship of the Romulan Star Empire is right now, or at least if Starfleet knows, or if the Federation knows, they are not disclosing that down to folks of our stature.
In my opinion, sir, the bottom line is that it's happened and we need to rescue our fellow officers.
Agreed.
Agreed. I find it odd, and I think we should keep that in mind.
I think that is quite wise, very logical, Lieutenant. When we adjourn to the bridge, the captain's orders are to keep a vigilant eye. Our number one priority is the rescue of our ship and to make sure that no further lives are lost or that this does not provoke a further intergalactic incident. We've just been through one war. We don't want to start another. But as always, be on your guard. Bridge in 10 minutes.
All right. Lieutenant Shee, maybe I should assist you in engineering. Let's see if we can get the ship to go even faster.
I like the sound of that, and I'm sure Thos does as well.
Always.
Okay, so is there something you would like? Sorry.
Do we have anyone on our ship who is an expert in Romulan culture and politics?
That I don't think there's anybody established. What's the crew complement for the USS Griffin?
250, I think, something like that.
I think, or I thought it was just an even 200.
It's whatever you want it to be. It's your game.
Pretty much. There's a crew support of 4. So I'm going to say that if we wanted to create an NPC that had some knowledge of of sort of Romulan culture or Romulan politics, then we could do that if we wanted to make that NPC.
Also,
I think that would be helpful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Master Chief Esei is our intelligence officer. He might have the ability to get information about current Romulan political structure.
I would prefer that just so that way we continue to use our player characters. But if we need an NPC resource, then we can make one.
I always forget that I'm actually something. Sure. I guess I'll look to see what Starfleet has for this.
Cool. So, was there anything that we wanted to do in engineering?
I'll see if we can. I mean, with Lieutenant Shee's permission, see if we can push the engines to 9.76.
How about we're sitting on 3 momentum. Why don't we spend 2 momentum to create an advantage?
Mm-hmm.
And let's call the advantage we get there yesterday.
Cool. So you
Like
spend
this is critical. As chief engineer, I lean on the rest of the engineering staff hard, explain to them the situation and say, like, we really need to put the ship through its paces.
okay.
Like we're gonna push this thing hard.
Okay. Great. So you're going to try to milk as much out of those engines as possible. And get there in double time.
Correct.
Great. So
All
we'll
right,
spend both of those.
this is just for my own personal benefit. Oh god.
Whoop.
And we use 6 power when we go to warp 9.975.
Yeah, so when you get to when you get to onto the bridge, first of all, you get over here. You get onto the bridge, and when you arrive, the captain is already center chair, and the ship has gone to yellow alert. Heading into a situation of unknown peril. And as you all take your positions at the bridge, Captain Kassar will turn to Thos and say, "Lieutenant, set a course for the Romulan neutral zone. Maximum warp."
Aye, aye, sir.
Cool. So you punch that in, and you see the power surge in the engines as you were like, "Oh, baby." And you lay that course in, and boom, the ship just tears off. If it was capable of making space tracks, it would. Now, the advantage is you're going to arrive there way faster than most ships might be able to. So as we start the episode proper, I'm going to deal myself my starting threat. I start the game with 12 threat.
Correct.
I hate to break it to you, you are missing somebody on that list.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Who?
5, 6. Oh,
Ensign Mitchell.
the other. Oh.
He's backup con when Foss is off duty.
Thanks for
when the game is over, I'll upload that into a channel and we can kind of
Sweet.
edit it as we go. Maybe that's what we
Yeah.
want to do.
And I will.
It's so many names I can't keep track of them unless I do something like this.
Yep. Yeah, and I do want to like write up little quickie character sheets for all of them in case we have to take one of them over.
Right.
And it's also nice to have so that not all of the ship's aux crew are rolling with the same stats.
Right.
I think I posted Mitchell's stats.
You did. So I'll totally use those.
We've gone to plaid.
So
They've gone to plaid.
luckily you don't pass them. Smoke them if you got them. When you arrive at the edge of the Romulan neutral zone, you can see that the Nightingale is hanging out in space. It's just at the edge of your ship's visibility. And as soon as you arrive, Thos, you see a hail come in from the USS Nightingale.
Incoming hail, Captain.
On screen. Bzz! And the same human female that sent the distress call appears full screen in front of you. And she says, "This is Commander Lewis of the USS Nightingale. Who am I speaking to?" I said, "Commander Lewis, this is Captain Kassar of the Federation starship Griffin. We are here to assist you." "Thank God you got here as fast as you did." It's incredibly fast. Wow. Just wow. Okay. Um, I don't have to tell you how dire the situation is, Captain. We've got half of our crew injured or dead, most of them in engineering. Everything's down. Shields are down. Warp is down. Weapons are down. All we have are life supports and just keeping the lights on. We're in bad shape over here. And the captain says, "Well, don't panic. We have one of the best engineering crews out there in the galaxy. We will be more than happy to assist as long as you can tell us what happened." And as soon as that happens, Thos, another hail comes in. This one, actually, let me show you what the situation is. This one is coming from a decloaked Romulan Dideradex warbird.
Oh. Oh.
That is.
Captain, there's a large incoming hail coming in.
And
nothing on my screen though. I should probably let me reset my my roll 20 because nothing is popping up on my end.
yeah,
Hey, you got a center class ship in there. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought it was just me that wasn't seeing anything. Let me try that again.
Might need to refresh. I thought I moved everything over into the.
I can see it. It's great.
Okay. Cool.
Roll 20 freaks out with large backgrounds sometimes.
Yeah, especially large black backgrounds where you're
my
just
goodness,
seeing
there we
nothing.
go. Oh boy, that is a ship. That is
Oh.
not ours.
Oh, Jesus, that's terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
This has bad news written all over it. Anyway. So
That's what a 6 threat spend looks like, guys.
uh
Skill 6.
mm-hmm. Yeah. You can see now, just to set the situation up, the Griffin is on the outside of the Romulan neutral zone. Right now, the both of these ships are out of weapons range. Also out of transporter range. Or perhaps barely within transporter range. And when the captain gives the on-screen order, you see there is a Romulan female with the typical Mo Howard Romulan bowl cut, jaundiced skin color, and shit-eating grin that is common to Romulan captains. And she says, "Federation vessel, you have stumbled upon what appears to be a faux pas of a Federation faux pas. Blah, 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 blah. You would do wise to leave this be. Now, Captain Kassar takes a deep breath and says, "Romulan Commander, I think not. This is Captain Kassar of the Federation starship Griffin. Who am I speaking with?" "You have the pleasure of speaking to Commander Mehevan of the Romulan Star Empire and capturer of a Federation starship with the gall to violate a sacred treaty so soon after the hostilities of the Dominion War. I don't know what you're up to, Captain, but this case is open and shut. This vessel violated our space, and we are within our rights to take it and bring it back to Romulus for trial and justice. Now, if you don't want to be a casualty to that, I recommend that you turn around and go back and tell your superiors not to do this again, or else they shall suffer the same fate. Captain sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna. We've seen this done in Voyager a couple of times. I'm gonna tap on I'm gonna text message to Commander Tapalu's armrest screen, like a message saying, perhaps mention that they have wounded and our doctors can tend to the wounded better than theirs can. More, used to Federation anatomy.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, so you can send that message over, and Commander Tapalu looks down, gets it, looks up, and says, Commander, your aggression on our vessel seems to have left several injured. It is but proper and logical that we provide assistance to them, for if they were to succumb to their injuries before being taken back to Romulus, then there would be no one left to provide justice upon. Now, I'm going to have Commander Tapalu make a command roll. Be insight plus command.
Can I, since I sent the message, can I aid her?
I will allow that. Do you have a diplomacy focus?
I definitely do not. That's why I didn't actually speak up.
Yeah. Now, neither does Tapalu. So if we want, we could give her a sort of negotiation focus. Because I think she can have up to 4.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And she could use our momentum.
Yep, totally. So she could buy an extra die with that if that's okay.
Yep.
So we're going to use.
I'm going to use reason plus command because that was a logical argument I made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think she will do the same thing. Reason command.
What's Chris? What's the captain's name again? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Captain Kassar.
I'm sorry, the Romulan captain.
Oh, Commander Meheven, Mheven, or Meheven, one of however you want to pronounce it.
I do have the improvisation focus. I don't know if that applies.
In this case, no. You're trying to I consider that more of like mechanical improvisation rather than.
All right, this is me. This is me trying to help.
Okay, go for it.
I don't help.
Okay, I'm going to roll 3 dice and see what happens. I get 1. Oh, wow, you really do not help.
But we do get a momentum.
Yes.
Because I'm aiding the exo.
Cool. So.
But they see me tapping on the console. Sending a text message.
Cool. So I think what they want out of this, or what they're going to ask for, is So Maheaven will ask, well, we wouldn't want that now, would we? It does no good to try corpses. But what assurances do we have from the Federation, who has already made it clear that they intend and are willing to violate our space? What assurances can the Federation offer us that they merely wish to provide aid? And the captain's like looking. The Captain Kassar makes a motion to Euthos to sort of cut or to mute comms.
Giving us the weird dead signal, and I was agreeing with you.
Mm-hmm. And the captain will say, our options are limited. We have to provide assistance, but the Romulan commander does have the upper hand.
We could offer to hand over sensor data hand over all our sensor data from entering the neutral zone. That way we can prove that we're not scanning for ships or looking for intel.
I would actually like the Nightingale to provide their sensor data, what happened when they were attacked, because that might shine some light on what actually happened.
Agreed.
We'd have
I
to
want
get it
to go see that.
surreptitiously.
And
We'd have
Captain,
to
I think we should
We'd have to
get
get
a
it
stream on the
surreptitiously.
Nightingale right away and pull it to our side of the neutral zone.
I'm sorry?
If we do that, the Romulans will just retaliate. We need to figure out what's going on here. I highly doubt that one of the most sophisticated science vessels Starfleet has to have just accidentally went off course and into the neutral zone due to a navigational error.
That sounds very implausible, actually. Yeah. What do you think? If we might not get them out of here, they will be transported to Romulus and presented in a kind of trial or so.
Mm-hmm.
Could we send some kind of legal advice team with them under diplomatic immunity law, of course?
Right now, Commander, we have to provide medical aid to our own officers. They desperately need that. And the ship needs to be made space-worthy again. Or we figure out a way to evacuate the personnel off of the ship and deal with the ship in some other way.
How about we suggest we send, of course, unarmed assistants to the ship, and they might actually send some Romulan observers to see how we are working, making the ship space-worthy again and treating the wounded.
It's not ideal, but it should work.
And I do suggest we send over our sensor logs to them to assure them that we're not scanning for hidden Romulan vessels or any information, and we limit our logs to short-range scan, limit our sensors to short-range scans only.
So we send over our sensor data proving that we are not being surreptitious.
Spies. Yes. And then, if I may, sir, I could be used as part of the engineering team, and I might be able to get the Nightingale's sensor logs and find out what happened while I'm over there working as an engineer.
Agreed. That would be quite helpful. And a voice comes over and says, "Well, Captain, I'm waiting." And
Oh shit, we didn't hit the mute button. Oh no!
yeah, comms go back up, and Kassar will say, "We will permit a small envoy of representatives from the Romulan Star Empire from your ship to supervise our work and make sure that all we are doing is providing aid. We don't want this situation to get any worse than it already is, Commander. And we are vying as much as we can for a peaceful resolution to this issue." And the commander mutes her own comms, and you can see her turning her head and talking to some people off of screen. And she says, when the comms go back up, "Those terms are acceptable, Captain. We will permit a small beam over of your crew, equaled by a small beam over of our crew. Once medical aid has been provided, once medical aid has been provided, and the ship is no longer in imminent danger, either it shall fly under its own power or be towed back to Romulus. Prepare your away team, and I shall do the same on my end." Now, I'm going to do something quickly here. Oh, nice. Yep, we'll do that. Would anybody mind if I spend your one momentum?
For what?
Kassar is going to make an insight roll.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Good.
Cool. Luckily, his composure or his diplomacy focus absolutely applies here.
Actually, I thought if you wanted to spend stuff in favor of our side, you added threat to our pool in order to do it. Like, I thought our momentum was just us. It's your game. Do it whichever way you want. I'm just curious about what the rule is.
I've seen it done both ways. Friendly NPCs. I've sort of been going off of what I've seen Eric Campbell do, where friendly NPCs use the crew's momentum, whereas threat is used as antagonistic.
Okay. Yeah, I really didn't know what the rule was, so I was asking out of curiosity.
I think it's one of those. I think that the rules says that the GM uses threat exclusively. But that's how I like to play it. But anyway. Whoop. Did I just roll that twice? I think that
yes, you did.
Okay, I'm going to take the first one because the first one doesn't have a complication.
No, you didn't roll that twice. The first roll is from the XO.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah, different pool. He's
okay,
right.
so I'm going to award myself 2 threat for that complication, just to bump my pool up, and you'll get that 1 momentum back. It was a very simple task. And when the communication cuts out and Kassar relaxes back in center chair, he puts a hand to his lower lip and thinks, "There's something about that. I've not had very many interactions with Romulans, but something about that is off. From what I know, they're not Klingons. They're not going to gloat. But that is a person who was holding all of the cards. And why then are they so amenable to a course of action that will take potentially hours, when all they have to do is just lock onto the ship with a tractor beam and tow it away?
Like I said, sir, I think there's more going on here. None of this adds up. That's why we need to
perhaps. Yep, go ahead.
To my ready room. Let us discuss this further.
Yep.
So in the ready room, Captain Kassar will say, Commander Strohm, what is your tactical opinion?
You're absolutely right. They could have towed the ship away anytime they wanted. So they actually wanted some Federation ship to be here, where we are at the moment, and they needed some time. Maybe some reinforcements are about to appear, or something else that takes time. So they very readily, without any negotiation or whatever, they agreed to our terms, which is not very Romulan-like, I think. So they are waiting for something, and I might suggest we send our intelligence officer in the away team to actually get a reading on the Romulans there, because they have some other missions besides what it appears. So yeah.
Agreed. I think you are right. The actions taken are not the actions of somebody who could end the game with a word. Like that ship could turn the Nightingale and us into space dust if they wanted to.
Are we sure their ship is in good shape?
Yeah, the Nightingale said that they had inflicted some damage, but I don't see how that's possible. I mean, unless their tactical systems have been upgraded too.
Something is not adding up here.
Do we know the research focus the Nightingale does have? Maybe the Romulans need some scientists, and they need them in a way that they could use them as they like. So that would be a way to get them.
That doesn't add up. They could have just if they needed something on that ship, they could have just towed it away. They need to see someone. They need someone to see them towing this ship away.
I
They need a spectacle.
I'm wondering if it's not a trap to get even more people in one spot, and two birds with one stone with these people.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but we won't send many people there, and if they don't return or so, we won't send any more, of course. But it will keep us here, fixed in place. Could we maybe use some long range scanning if there's another kind of movement along the neutral zone border?
If we activate long range scans, they'll find us and they'll accuse us of trying to scan their territory for intel.
Yeah, so what?
We're in a precarious situation already. I don't think that's going to make it any better.
They have all the cards. They didn't. They chose not to play them. So what?
I don't think they do have all the cards.
Huh?
I think they want us to think they do.
Yeah.
think
So let's.
I think they're bluffing. They've got something going on that they need a Federation observation presence here for some reason.
And that's why I was suggesting making a long range scan, because we now call their bluff.
We don't need our sensors to scan long range. The Nightingale's presumably already done that. I just need to access their sensors.
Well, then let's do that. That sounds like a plan.
I'll go to their computer core. I'll tell them that their computer core needs to be up and running for safe travel, which is true because you need navigational sensors to travel. And I'll see if I can get the sensor data out of there at the same time.
Let me inject some acute paranoia. The Nightingale probably didn't move into the neutral zone by accident. What about if there is some kind of collaborator on the Nightingale?
We don't know.
What if we set up a computer link between their computers and ours? Say that it's something that needs to be. Say that we're re-downloading the operating system. That way, we could directly transmit all the data we get off of the Nightingale's computers to our ship, without them being any of the wiser. Any information we get, we would have first access to.
Sounds very good.
All right, well, I've got my work cut out for me.
Yeah. One thing that I will mention is just this is information that your character would have.
Mm-hmm.
That. Sorry.
I'm going to need somebody to lie for me because they're going to see through my lies.
Yeah. That Commander Lewis mentioned that basically almost every system on board their ship is not functioning.
Right. So I need to repair their computer core and then set up a computer transfer.
Likely.
Yes.
If you want, like this ship needs hella repairs because they're basically a sitting duck out in space right now. Shields down, weapons down. The only thing going on is life support and the lights.
Does anybody have a decent science or computer engineering score to help me out? I'm assuming we're going to need our Bajoran working on actual stuff to make the ship space worthy.
Yeah, I mean, I have to do the hardware repairs. You're going to have to focus on the software side.
Yeah.
But you have collaboration, don't you?
I do.
Okay.
I do have collaboration science.
So maybe you could grab the chief.
Yeah, I can help with engineering too if you need it.
Oh, in that case, take them both.
And of course, some of the medical stuff.
Yeah. We'll definitely need our Dr. Phlox to actually do what we said we would need to do.
My team is at the ready.
I'm going to step away for 2 minutes. You all can continue planning. I will be right back.
So I would prefer if our Master Chief is not working on engineering or medical or whatever, but working on the Romulans there. Of course, very, very subtle, but still.
I mean, if he's working on any of those other things, the Romulan observers are going to be observing us. So, I mean, that's not a problem. I'd like to have somebody who's good at lying with me so that when they ask me what I'm doing, I can lie and them not immediately figure out what I'm doing.
I'm a good
terrible at-
negotiator.
That sounds like an idea. Because my command is 1, and my presence is 9.
Yeah, I've got 9 presence, but I have 4 command, and I specifically have a negotiation focus.
Sounds good.
So, in addition to the sensor data, I'd like to try to retrieve some tactical data from the first engagement they had.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'll try and get whatever I can off of the computer, but first I got to get the computer core up and running.
Yeah, well,
What-
I'm just bringing that up just because, like I said, I can help with engineering. So if you wanted to focus on the sensor stuff, maybe I can focus on trying to get the
I can't
tactical information.
I can't pull the sensor logs up until the computer core is repaired. I mean, we need to repair the computer core to make it space worthy anyway, because otherwise the ship can't fly under its own power.
And of course, it's on emergency power, so you need to restore the power in the first place.
You need the
Um,
reactor up and running as well, which I'm assuming our Bajoran friend is going to take care of, hopefully.
So don't you think it's a little bit weird that the very small science vessel wasn't annihilated utterly, because it looks like a kind of surgical strike to the engineering to make it lame in space, and
Like I said, my character is operating under the assumption that the Romulans need an audience. So they crippled the ship specifically to attract an audience. I don't know why they need an audience, but I assume that they need one.
How does this, and any of you in regarding of psychology? Our good captain had some second thoughts about the motives of the Romulan commander. Maybe we find out something else if we replay the recording of the communication.
Well, it sounds like something you can get to work on.
As a psychologist,
As a tactician,
yeah, you know,
Just because I have the highest present doesn't mean I'm a counselor.
yeah. I think this is a thing for insight. So I'm not the most insightful person.
it's actually Dr. Phlox. Psychology is under medicine.
Sure, I will. I'll do what I can. Let's go take a look at the replay.
Maybe for a Romulan, she acted nervously or so, and tried to hide that or so. Maybe you find some layers of her behavior in this analysis, because the whole theory with the audience. Yeah. So where's the audience?
We're the audience.
For what?
That I don't know, but they need Federation observers for whatever they're doing.
I mean, but if it was anyone else that got the distress call, it would have taken them significantly longer to get here than it took us to get here.
They were cloaked. They were lying in wait. They could have waited as long as they wanted.
I know, but just sitting there just to wait, I feel doesn't.
That's I mean, that's the one Romulan thing that it sounds like they're ready to do. Wait until the moment's right.
All right, I'm back. So, is there anything special that y'all want to let me know about?
I think not for me. I'm ready.
Yeah, the doctor wanted to analyze the psychological profile of the Romulan commander. Maybe he can find out something else about that.
Cool. So we can do it this way. You can do an insight plus command roll. You were there watching, so I'll set the difficulty. I'll set the difficulty at 2, just because you were not the one engaged in active negotiation. So you can make that roll and see if you can possibly generate some extra momentum. Or if you want, there's the one momentum you have hanging, and I'll let you obtain information off of the captain's roll for his insight.
And we do have the recordings of the communication, so you might actually replay that as often as necessary. And maybe the ship could help with the ship's computers too.
Like, just sort of enhance to sort of find facial tics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Playing poker against
pulling
would
up-
be great.
Pulling up previous engagements with Romulans, previous psychological profiles, that kind of thing.
Cool. Yeah, so if you want to make a roll and see what you get, I will allow it, or you can spend the one momentum and ask one question.
I think we'll spend the momentum and we'll roll for it.
Okay, so you'll spend that to gain an extra die.
Yeah, and my
Cool.
negotiation focus counts here.
I'll say yeah.
Okay, and you said command.
It'll be insight command. Difficulty is 2.
Okay, and the ship's not helping me here.
I'm trying to think if I'm going to allow, like, I mean, if you want to replay back some of your recording of that information, I will allow the ship to assist.
Yeah, we're watching the instant replay.
Yeah. And play it forward and then rewind. Play it forward, then rewind. Okay, so the Griffin's going to be rolling computers plus security. And the difficulty is 2. Okay, so Dr. Phlox, you hit it. Let's see if the Griffin is going to put you over. And the Griffin helps.
Bless. That's its one for the entire episode.
Which is one more than we were expecting.
I'll
That's
say this
your
about
ship.
Griffin. It's got a damn good DVR. Okay. So you're playing back the recording of this interaction that you just had. You pick up a lot of things from this person. Person's cocky. They definitely know they've got you right where they want you. And yeah, there are, like, I will say that base, you can tell there's you can confirm what the captain was able to sort of intonate, that there does seem to be a bit of playing for time here. Because, yeah, if they wanted to just end this right now, they totally could. The fact that they're drawing this out sticks out to you. So that's what you learn base. You do have that one extra momentum, so if you want to spend that to ask another question, you can.
Yeah, let's get a little more.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay, so is there a specific thing you want to ask?
Oh. Do we have you said that they were cocky, but do we have anything else on them emotionally? Are they scared? Are they worried?
you're able to pick up behind the arrogance, behind the cockiness, Commander Maheven is nervous. You can get a sense of nervousness out of her. More nervous than somebody in the overwhelmingly advantageous position that she's in should be.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's what you're able to find out.
Could you maybe could you find out if something we sent her triggered some kind of physiological reaction, like increased heartbeat or so? Did she react on certain terms like they were triggers for her?
I would say that that if you had some more momentum, I would allow an extra momentum spend on that to obtain some more information. But I'll say that because of the role and the momentum being spent, that's what you learn from this recording.
Okay.
Cool. So is there any other business? Anything else that you want to do before we take off?
Not for me.
Copy that.
No.
Oh, okay.
I do, before we go over,
Mhm.
I do want to have a word with my engineering damage control team.
Okay. Great. So these are like a bunch of red shirts that work underneath you, right?
Gold shirts, and yes.
Gold shirts, yes.
So,
You know what I meant.
basically, before we beam over there, I want to sit them down
Mhm.
as their commanding officer in engineering, and say to them, I want everybody to understand and be prepared that the section of the ship that took the most damage is engineering. When we go over there, we're going to see a lot of dead fellow Starfleet officers and members of our family, our Starfleet family, who have been maimed. I'm counting on everyone to keep it together, to remain professional, and to make sure their sacrifice isn't in vain.
Cool. Awesome.
Now, I'm not very good at this, but I
Mm.
would like to make a presence and command roll to try to get them focused on the job. Because they're going to be seeing some pretty, I'm guessing they're going to be seeing some pretty ghastly shit when we beam over there.
I will allow that. I was trying to look at your values to see, like, because you're not really challenging one of those values. There's not really any way I can use those values against you. You are leaning heavily into them.
Right. I
Cool.
don't
So
think I
that'll be
have any.
presence command. I'll say difficulty's 1.
Okay.
Nice. Cool. So you're going to get 1 momentum back. Oh, and just to be crystal clear, as we start the mission directives, so everyone has these at their ready, are 1, ensure that the Romulans have no excuse to declare war. Save as many of the Nightingale crew as possible. And 3, do not allow Federation technology to fall into the hands of the Romulans. So, in addition to the Prime Directive, those are the mission directives. All right. So we cut to a scene on board the USS Nightingale as all of you beam over. Now, who is going on this away team? I'm assuming it's all of the senior staff. Commander Tapalu probably will not be going with you. Commander Strohm will have, Commander Strohm will be the sort of command representative over there.
Yeah. It's Lieutenant Tahana and the Master Chief Petty Officer. We are going to go to the computer core and start trying to get the computer up and running.
Okay. So, when all of you beam over, it is now. Do you two just break and immediately go right over there and be like, "Hey, going right to the computer core. See ya."
Like, do the I guess we'll have had before we beam over. I guess we'll have we'll work it out where as soon as we get over, Strom will tell us, "Hey, you two go get the computer core up and running. We need that for navigational sensors or something like that."
Cool.
Yeah, I will actually advise to present ourselves at the acting captain, Commander Lewis, because it's still her ship.
That's true.
Okay. So you'll go in, check in with the acting captain, and then split.
And yeah, make sure that we give our orders in front of the Romulans so they know what we're like, why we're going to the computer core, or at least ostensibly why we're going to the computer core.
Yeah.
Chris, I have a question for you.
Okie doke.
Hopefully, it won't come up, but I'm always prepared for the worst.
Right.
Hypothetically, if we are to get an order, I know the ship's captain is dead, but she's the acting captain. If we are to get an order from this commander that goes against what our captain has told us to do, given that it's her ship, who has the authority? So this is crystal clear for everybody when we're over there.
Right. You are technically not her crew. So she cannot order you around the way that your captain can.
Right.
So if it comes up where if you are given an order, if she tries to give you an order,
well, let me give you a hypothetical. All right.
Yes.
I'm the engineer. She says, "What repairs are you going to prioritize?" And I say, "I'm going to prioritize the warp drive." And she says, "No, you are to prioritize the deflector shields on my ship. That's an order." What do I do?
I think that would probably be. I would resolve that with a contest, because if it's not clearly disadvantageous to be like, you're out of your mind, then I would probably resolve it with a presence command contest.
Okay.
Yeah, of course, you are a Starfleet officer, not a machine, so you won't get ordered around senselessly. So you might argue against that, but maybe she has the better arguments.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and yeah, so that's probably like you can say that if there's something that you have a really good reason not to obey, and you can always radio back to the captain and be like, "Hey, captain, I was ordered to do this. What do I do?"
Right.
And then if the captain agrees with her, then you're stuck. But if the captain's like, "No, you're right, dude," then you can try to resist.
Okay. Because I'm playing a Bajoran female, and we've seen Ensign Rowe, we've seen Commander Kira Nerys. They're not they're not known for easily following orders when they don't want to.
Right. Yeah. So that's why. Long story short, you're not her crew, so she can't boss you around the way that your captain could. So you will have a bit of leeway with that, but it may come down to dice.
Okay.
Cool. All right. hold on. I'm just trying to look at Wow, I always dislike this. So you beam over, and you find that when you make your way onto the bridge, there are already Romulans there. There are 3 Romulan soldiers, three Romulan Ulan that are waiting for you. And they are armed. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Sorry, I was looking up. Yeah, okay. I was looking up a quick rule because I'm going to spend 1 threat to say that all of the Romulan soldiers that are overseeing you are going to be armed with disruptor rifles.
Oof.
Yeah, they are not effing around. So there are 3 of these Romulan soldiers on the bridge with you, with about a half dozen Starfleet crew, not counting yourselves. They stand at the ready. Ow. And you see standing by center chair is Commander Lewis, now acting Captain Lewis.
Ignoring the presence of the Romulans, I walk over to the acting captain and give her my greetings.
Commander, it's very nice to see you. Wish it were under better circumstances, but thank you for providing your aid wherever possible.
Yeah, let my crew get right away to do that, because your ship is badly in need of repair, and we won't keep it that long without space worthiness. So let's get on.
Agreed. Anything we can do to help. My crew. Well, wow, that's weird. My crew is at your disposal.
I'd say the good doctor here might actually give a look at your injured, and we have our engineering experts to get your ship back to power. So maybe if you would assign one of your crew to actually help them, assist them in any way, that would be fine.
Of course, anything that you would need. I will say we're not very well equipped with our medical staff here. We're a science vessel primarily. But we've all gone through basic, so whatever we can do to help out. But I trust in your expertise, Doctor.
Show me to the wounded.
Yeah. She points to the turbo lift and says, "Sick bay is, you know
Deck
where to
6.
find it. Yeah, deck 6. There will be people there waiting for you. Yeah, unfortunately, we're not able to do much other than just separate the people that we can help with the people that we can't."
All right, then I shall make my way there post haste.
And as you walk by, one of the Romulans just sort of gives you this stink eye as you walk past him over to the turbo lift.
I will. I'll be like, and I'm gonna see if I can get your computer core up and running for navigational sensors and the ability to fly anywhere.
She'll say, "That's helpful. We're locked out of the computers right now. We still have some basic helm, so If we're able to fly out of here, then the helm can take it, but the computers would be quite helpful.
Definitely want you to have proper astrological charts
Mhm.
or access to proper astrological charts.
Cool. So just to let you know, I spent 2 points worth of threat to add the a complication here of Romulan oversight. So
Gotcha.
anything you are saying, they can hear.
Right.